fucking nervous talking about this, but I think it's really important to talk about. It's something I've seen in a lot of other people. I've heard a lot of other people talking about it. I think more importantly, I've heard a lot of people not talking about it. And mostly I felt it in myself in a very great degree. So why do we make games? It's because we're all passionate, we fucking love games. They're the perfect confluence of technical and creative and art and like just things I love. But also, why do we make indie games? And I think if we really examine that, we make indie games because for the first time ever, it's been possible to get recognition for making games. And if I really ask myself, I want to make a successful indie game so that the world will know who I am and that I will mean something and I'll be worthy. And to be really honest, I'm making Cadence, and I'm in a really weird place with Cadence right now. We're about to run out of money for the second time. I've been working on the game for a year now, and we're like 400,000 rand down, and it's like, well, we're at the point now where it's do or die. Those are the options. Either we succeed and we make our money back, or else we fail. And, those are the options. There's no work on another game. We're invested and we're on the line. And when you're in that place with the game, to come here and get praise for the game, it's weird. I'm like, this game is I'm freaking out about it, and people are like, oh yeah, man, this game's awesome. And I'm really fucking grateful for that. That's been a huge thing for me, where it's okay, yeah, people do like my game. That's weird. Why do I not want to watch people play the game? Why am I so over this game? And I'm just like, oh, I can hear it. No. But it's been awesome, and I'm so grateful for that. So I think the thing is, that's not just my story. My story is a small scale that happens everywhere. And there's been a lot of stories like Alexander Bruce, Antichamber, David from Stanley Parable, where they made mega fucking successful games and they still felt crap about themselves. And I think the point is that if you have demons, success won't feed those demons. And that's something I'm really trying to learn and trying to take to heart. And I think the reason why we experience that is because there's these stories that we tell ourselves. So right now my story is I don't have a successful commercial game. And that's just my story on where I am in the journey right now. And I think for a lot of other people, especially students, or I'm not a real game designer, I'm just a student. I'm not a programmer, I don't do real games. I'm not an artist, I'm not talented. I'm a girl, I'm not a guy. Or, there's just so many things that you can use to exclude yourself. And quite honestly, when I arrived, I felt like an outsider. And it was all these people from Europe, and they all know each other, and I arrived a day late, and everyone had already met each other, and I was like, whoa, And the thing about those stories is you can rewrite them. And, I had to take a step back and say, these people are here, and they're amped to meet me as well. And I think that's a huge thing for, people I see around the periphery, and I see them, they're standing in the circle, and people are talking about games, and they're keeping quiet. And I think that's the thing about feeling like an outsider, is that you shut up, and you keep quiet, and you want to be invisible. And that's the worst thing when you have that feeling, because then you don't solve it, and it just eats you up. Yeah, got a minute left. 1 minute. So, okay, I'm going to talk about Danny now, and I'm just using Danny because I know he can totally take it, and he's awesome. So Danny, if you don't know him, if you're not in the Cape Town scene, desktop dungeons, he's the most fucking enthusiastic person about games I've ever met. The dude eats, breathes, and shits games. I don't know how he does it. And the thing is, Danny, a lot of times, dude, I love you, but you kill me with imposter syndrome. I'll hear Danny say something, and it's about experiences I haven't had access to. So it's I was at this festival, hanging out with this guy, making this game that I haven't even heard of the game. I'm who am I? I haven't heard about this amazing game. And I think the thing for me is that the way we overcome this is to realize you're not alone. There's other people feeling exactly the same way that you're feeling. And, make games, have fun.